Okay, so I have updated my office hours. Go to announcements. It's Monday to Wednesday. Oh, Monday and Wednesday. 2 to 3 p.m. It's in the brickyard, just fifth floor. You come out of the elevator and to the right. There is a big man. So we'll start today with mobile programming, Android programming. That is the programming part of our class. So we'll talk about mobile programming. And this part of the class, what I'll do is we'll talk about the design issues, the implementation issues that you will face when you are doing any programming in mobile platforms. And also we'll talk about some concepts of operating system. Because as you see that this operating system concepts are important for mobile programming, and the mobile operating system is very different than the operating system of a desktop or operating system of a sensor. So how many of you have taken 330 or have some background of operating system? Raise your hand. Okay. So there are many different types of operating systems, right? What would you call your desktop operating system? What is the type of operating system? The desktop operating system. What are the different types of operating system? Can you name one type of operating system? What? So what is RTU? Real time. So why do you call it real time? And what is the difference between real time operating system and just operating system? What is your desktop system? What does it do? How does it work? How does your desktop system work? Yes? What is that? What does it mean by standalone operating system? First of all, you have to ask the question, why am I asking you this question? Operating system. What is operating system? How is it related to mobile computing? You have to ask yourself, why we are studying operating system in mobile computing? Very important issue. Because when you are trying to implement mobile applications, the moment you are trying to implement mobile applications, you always deal with the operating system. You have to deal with the operating system. Unless you are implementing some application that is a grocery app, that you have some interface and you just say that, okay, I need 4 items, you pick 4 items and all 4 items are picked, that is done. Unless you are making those kind of useless applications, then you don't need to learn about operating system. But if you want to deal with sensors, if you want to deal with applications that are useful, you have to think about operating systems. You have to optimize your application. If you want to say that your application is the fastest grocery app possible in this world, right? Then you want to talk about operating systems. So the knowledge about operating system is necessary in order to understand the details of how not only a mobile application, but how an embedded computing system works. If you don't know how an embedded computing system works or what does it need to work best, what are its constraints, how should it operate, If you don't know that, then you cannot build any mobile computing. Right? You end up with implementing unoptimized, slow, poor user experience application. So you have to know what is an operating system. So that is why I am asking you the question. Now in this class, we cannot start from zero with respect to operating system. So you have to tell me some things about operating system. So what is the operating system that is running in your laptop? How does it work? First of all, single thread. How does a single thread work? So it goes to the basic question that how do you instruct a machine? Right? Machine language, right? By using machine language. So machine language is what? You have some assembly level code, right? Move, store, add, those kind of code. So that is basically a nice representation of binary. Right? So if you have add, that add you can convert into ones and zeros. And whenever it sees that particular sequence, the machine sees that particular sequence of ones and zeros, it knows that it is an add instruction. Right? So any high-level language that you write, C, Java, or Android, any such program you write, you can compile it. You can compile it and you can make it assembly language. Right? And the machine, what it does, it just looks into the assembly language code. So what is an operating system in your laptop? What is an operating system? Basically, it's a huge monolithic line of code, right? Either written in C or partially written in assembly language or written in C. But you can compile that operating system and you can just get ones and zeros from it. Once you compile the operating system code, you will get ones and zeros. So operating system is what? It's just a sequence of ones and zeros. And the computer, whenever you turn on the operating system or you run the operating system, the computer does what? Your laptop does what? It just goes for first line, executes it, then goes to the second line, executes it, third line, executes it, and so on. Even if you don't have any program to run in the computer, what does it do? Yeah? No, I'm saying no program, nothing, blank. The computer, you don't have any application. What does it do? I don't know what. Yes? So it is not doing anything? What? Let's say you turn off the display. So what happens to the clock? In the CPU works on what? It works on some gigahertz clock, right? So the clock is ticking. What happens at each clock tick? Then nothing, no process is running. What happens to each clock tick? To the CPU. What does it mean by idle? Wait. Yes? What does it mean by waiting? How do you make a CPU wait? Yes? Clock? Clock? What is the law? Yes? No? So what happens from a clock? So you get a clock. At each clock, the CPU does something, right? If there is instruction, it executes that instruction. If there is no instruction, what does it do? What does it mean by doing nothing? Can you tell a CPU to do nothing? If you tell the CPU that do nothing, what will it do? It's running no ops, right? So it's running a no ops. In a while loop, infinite while loop, it is running the instruction no ops. So it's still running, it's not idle. Although you say idle, but if you turn on your computer, you will see idle process is executing at 99% utilization. So means it's busy doing idle process. Right? So it is executing something, it is executing no ops in a while loop. So always while whatever that computer is executing, whether no or some program, what is it doing? It is executing in sequential manner. It always goes from 1 to 20. It never goes from 3 and then it stops doing everything. There is not even no ops, and then it suddenly executes 21, and then it comes back and executes 3, and it doesn't do like that. It always executes sequentially. Unless you say that, okay, if some condition appears, go to line number 30, then it can jump. Unless you specifically say, then it can jump. But if you do not specifically say, given if condition and don't tell it to jump, it won't jump. It will execute sequentially, like program counters. That is your laptop operating system. You execute sequentially and you go on like that. Now, when you are executing sequentially in a laptop, what happens when you hit a keyboard or when you pick mouse, interface, right? So what is happening? The operating system was running a program and then you hit the keyboard, it interrupts. Interrupt means what? What do you do when there is an interrupt? What? Context. So when there is an interrupt, what you do is you leave whatever you are doing. Right? You leave whatever you are doing and you don't stop. You don't even execute no op. What you do? You go to something called an interrupt handler or interrupt service routine, ISR. Right? So by having interrupts, you change the flow of execution of an operating system. So that's how your laptop operating system works. It goes sequentially, suddenly it gets interrupted, and it changes the sequence of execution, and again it executes sequentially from there on. Right? So that's the sequential operating system, your laptop. Now go back to sensors. Go to sensors. We saw sensor hardware last time. And it had a microcontroller, it had some 4 KB RAM, and it had some antenna. Right? Can your laptop operating system work in a sensor? Can you take that operating system and put it in a sensor? Why not? What? The OS is too big. Can you imagine fitting in Windows in 256 KB? You can Windows itself take how much memory? About 1 GB memory. Itself it takes 1 GB. Can you have that much amount of memory in the sensor? Not possible. So you cannot execute sequential operating systems. That is one reason. That is one reason why you cannot execute the operating system that you have in your laptop. Now, resource constraint is a very important factor in sensors. Since these resources are very limited, if you have a sequential operating system which is always executing something, whether there is an application or no, it's always executing something. If there is no application, it's still executing no ops, right? So if it executes no ops, then it is also consuming something called idle power. So it is still consuming power. So now power is a very important constraint for sensors. So what researchers came up with was that what if we move from this sequential execution? We move from this concept that even if there is no application, the computer still executes. We move from this concept to another concept that says that when there is nothing, you just stop. You just sleep. Even shut down the clock. When there is something interesting, if there is something interesting, then you execute. Then you execute the operating system. So which means what? When will something interesting happen? When there is some new data, right? When there is some change in so one change or one new data, maybe keyboard strike. There is one new data. Something happens in the environment. Or temperature reaching a certain boiling point is another example. So environmental data, something changed. So whenever there is new data, you give interrupt. And whenever there is an interrupt, you wake up the operating system. and the operating system does something in response to that interrupt. Now, once it does something in response to that interrupt, it finishes doing whatever it has to do for that interrupt, it goes back to sleep. It doesn't even execute more. That interrupt-driven operating system is a different concept from your laptop, sequential operating system. Right? That is embedded operating system. You are going towards embedded operating system. Then he told us around that there is something called real-time operating system. Now, what is real-time operating system? That is also a different concept from just general embedded computing operating system. Real-time operating system, just the core aim of real-time operating system is that the operating system should be such that every application that is run by that operating system has a time constraint. So this application, if it runs in an RTOS, it has to finish by a certain amount of time. And every application has a time variable. That within that time limit, it has to finish. If it does not finish, then that is a problem of the RTOS. The RTOS couldn't finish it in time. And there will be great consequences if it cannot finish it in time. That is real-time operating system. But what I'm getting, the point to which I'm getting at is that sensor operating system and laptop operating system or mainstream computing operating system follow two different strategies. Right? On one hand, you always do something, and whenever something interesting happens, you just change the flow of execution. That is one concept. The other concept is you never do anything. Whenever something certain interesting thing happens, you start doing it. Right? And once you have finished, whatever you have to do, you go back to sleep. So that is the sensor story, and the other part is the laptop story. Now, one of the important things is that what is this interesting thing that should happen when a sensor should start its building? This interesting thing can be many things: changes in environment, user input, and so on. Right? Now, when we come to the smartphone, this smartphone is kind of in the middle of these two spectrum. There is this laptop which executes all the time, and there is the sensor which doesn't execute at all. It only executes during interesting events. So the smartphone is in the middle. Why is it in the middle? Because smartphone is something where you have more power than a sensor. You have power close to a laptop. Right? So you can potentially execute the sequential operating system, which always runs. You can potentially do that. But on the other hand, when you have a smartphone, you are always touching, right? You are always swiping, you are always typing something. In a laptop, you don't always touch it. You run a program and you are just you go away, the program runs, gives you result. Or you start a YouTube video, you just keep watching it. Right? You are not constantly touching the screen or constantly touching the keyboard. So the amount of user interaction with the laptop is far less than an amount of user interaction with the smartphone. Right? So if you have a sequential operating system that is there in the laptop, if you have that same thing in a smartphone, you can potentially run it. There won't be any power problems or resource problems, memory problems. There won't be any instances like that. But the number of interrupts that the smartphone will handle will be a lot. There's a huge number of interrupts. Is anybody sitting on a switch or something? What is happening? Why did you turn off the light? Should have audio instead of motion. Okay, so a smartphone is kind of in the middle because it has a lot of user inputs, and on the other hand, it has enough power to run it sequentially as well. So smartphone is kind of in the middle of sequential operating system of a laptop and interrupt driven or event driven operating system of a sensor. So it has the best of both worlds, event driven as well as sequential execution. So that is where smartphone lies. So that's where the operating system as well as the programming framework of the smartphone is very different from the laptop as well as from a cell. Right? So given that basic knowledge of operating systems, let's start and look into how we can do mobile programming. Right? So mobile programming, as you know, there are many different options, many different integrated development environments, IDEs. These slides are kind of little bit old because maybe 2-3 years old. Because now nobody uses Eclipse. You can technically use Eclipse for Android, but there is Android Studio that you can use. And we will use Android Studio in our examples as well, in our assignments. Then there is Windows, there is Apple. Programming languages use Android uses Java, Windows Phone uses Visual C#, and Objective-C I don't think Apple uses it anymore. It uses Swift. But what we'll do is we'll talk about the architecture, the underlying operating system, and the APIs that you will use to program. Right? So this is the Windows Phone operating system, the Windows architecture for programming. Right? It includes both operating system as well as application program interface (APIs) that you can use to write applications. So this is Windows, this is Apple. But what we'll do is we'll talk about Android, and if you see, the structure is kind of similar to the point of being exactly the same. Right? But let's talk about Android. So this is kind of a multi-layer structure that all the smartphone operating system as well as programming interface uses. Right? So at the very base, so let's go from bottom up. Right? At the very base, there is this Linux kernel, and this Linux kernel is a compilation of operating system services, right? And this Linux kernel is in the middle of being event-driven as opposed to sequential, right? So it has both. It can run programs following a sequence, or it can also respond to events coming from outside, like either sensors or user interacting with the screen. Right? So now this Linux kernel is a composition of drivers. What are drivers? Yes? Hardware interface. The drivers are small snippets of code. These are basically files which convert the bits that you need to set or reset on a particular hardware into some simple programming interface. So you might have Wi-Fi.start. The Wi-Fi.start is a program or is a function that you can call, and it will set the appropriate bits in the Wi-Fi interface. So that is a driver. So this Linux kernel is a compilation of drivers. Now ideally you don't need anything else. Not ideal. I meant to say at the very base. At the very base, you don't need anything else. You can just use this Linux kernel and run your smartphone program. And it will run as it runs now. Like even with those libraries and stuff, you can run your program. But then, not only Android, but all these kind of programming interfaces, programming architectures, they give you things called abstractions. So all these top layers, the libraries, Android runtime, application framework, applications, these are all abstractions. Abstractions means what? If I only give you the Linux kernel, only a person who is very proficient with operating system and knows kernel programming can utilize this and run their code. Not everybody can build applications. But we want everybody to write applications. Right? So that's why the first abstraction that is provided on these libraries. What are these libraries? Basically, they combine these drivers, take information from these drivers, and on top of this, they write some small code to give some higher level functionality. So, for example, one functionality is, let's say, SQLite, right? Database function. You need to open a new database, right? Create it, save it somewhere, and write it. Right? So, in order to do that, you first need the flash memory driver. Then you need there are some other drivers which I'm not sure. So you need the flash memory driver, you need the writing driver, right? So writing in the keypad driver, you need the keypad driver. So multiple drivers you use, you combine and give it a higher level function. So SQLite, OpenGL is for the graphics, then Meteor framework is for audio or video, right? All these kind of drivers they can combine and give some higher level functionality. Now from these libraries, we'll talk about Android runtime a little bit later. But from these libraries, then on top of that is the application framework. So what does the application framework do? It combines different libraries as well as drivers. So it takes drivers as well as combines different libraries to give you some further higher level functionality. So one functionality that comes to that we can take we can show you is maybe content provider. Content providers use SQLite, the driver. So what do they do? Content providers, we'll talk about that later in the course as well. It provides an interface to develop a database, create a database, store it in memory, and transfer that database from one application to the other. So one application A and application B. Application A can have a content provider, which means an interface to a database that application A has created, and application B can write a content resolver to access the database created by application A. Right? So that is another functionality, a higher level functionality provided by the application framework. Now using this application framework, you can combine different things like content providers, activity manager, location manager, you can combine and have an application such as web browser. Right? So those applications are further higher level applications. And those are applications that are provided in let's say in your latest phone. Phones come with some default applications. So that is the level. So in that level, you can have your applications as well. So your applications fall in that way, that's the topmost level. Now we have skipped one part, the Android runtime. Right? We have skipped this part. So Android runtime basically says what is the logic, how do you run threads, how do you run applications, what logic do you use. There can be many different logics. What is the logic of a laptop? How does the laptop run applications? The sequential operating system, maybe Linux or Windows. Basically, what it does is that if you have a code, you have to give memory to that code. So you take the code, you compile it, you see how much binary space it needs for the code, then you see how much binary space it needs for the data, and then you give a default memory to the heap and a stack. Right? So that is the entire memory. Then you call the loader loads that memory, puts it into some RAM. And you do not distinguish between the entire physical memory, who gets what. You just, whatever free memory is there, you just partition it into how much memory each application needs. That is one policy. The other policy is this Android policy, where you have virtual machines for every application. So whenever you invoke any application, you give it a virtual machine. Now what is a virtual machine? So basically it's a simulator. It's an operating system simulator. What are the advantages of that? Virtual machine. Exactly. So the main aim is that whatever code, whatever application you have developed, it should run on different types of hardware. Because if you think of Android, Samsung is developing Android phones, HTC is developing Android phones, right? And Google is using Android to develop their phones. So the hardware, the underlying hardware as well as the operating system is different. Everybody has different optimizations in their operating system as well as in their hardware. But a programmer writes code in Android. So you cannot expect a application developer to write separate code for each, for Samsung, separate code for Google, separate code for HTC. You cannot expect that an application developer to do that. So you need platform independence. Now, how will you get platform independence? There has to be some middleware, some program that takes your whatever code you have written and changes it so that it can run in a given platform. So that middleware is the virtual machine. That is one functionality of the virtual machine. There are many others. So there is one functionality of the virtual machine. How many of you have heard about application sandboxing? What is it? What is application sandbox? Yes, more or less right. So, what is application sandboxing? Basically, what happens is that whenever you have a virtual, whenever you invoke an application, then it blocks off a portion of the memory. And in that portion of the memory, whatever parameters are needed for that particular virtual machine is stored. You can store your stack, you can store your heap, whatever you want to do. You can store your parameters, code. Right? Now, if there are two applications, there are two such blocks of the memory. Application sandboxing ensures that these two blocks, first of all, does not overlap. Second, an application A running in block A cannot read or write into any memory used by application B in block B. So application sandboxing is a characteristics provided by this virtual machine. There is a virtual machine characteristic which allows you isolation of application memory. So that is one very big advantage because now you can consider your environment to be secure. An environment where you are running your code to be secure. Nobody else can come in unless you have given permission, unless you have given access to that application. None of the applications can come in and read your stuff or modify your stuff. So now you have a secure environment. So that is the purpose of the virtual machine. Now there is a downside of it also, which we will talk about when we talk about threads. Right? There is a lot of downside. We will talk about that when we discuss threads. So given this brief overview of Android architecture, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how to program, how to write our first code. Right? So we'll talk about several things. First of all, we'll talk about activities, services, broadcast, receivers, content providers, intent, and so on. Right? We'll talk about that. Now, so what do you write mobile programs? so that in user interaction, right? So there has to be some visual component. Now this visual component is executed in some thread. So that thread where this visual component is executed is called an activity thread. Right. Now you might also want to run some code in the background, run some tasks in the background, for which you don't need user interaction. So the tasks that you can run in the background, you run those in another type of thread called the services thread. So these are the two types of threads that you can run in an Android program. So Android program is a multi-threaded program that you write, and these are these two types of threads. First type of thread is has some visual component to it, so user can interact with it. So those are activity threads, and there are some other types of threads which have no visual interface, but they work in the background. They are called service threads. Right? Broadcast content providers will talk about later. Let's see these two first. So activities. Activities for most of the applications, activities are the basic component. You might have some applications which do not have activities. They can run just in the background. For example, network manager doesn't need any user interface, it runs in the background. And it has a user interface. When you click settings, it brings up a user interface, but you don't really need to run it. So those are examples where activities are not the primary component of any application. But for the most part, the applications that we will be executing, or at least the assignments. Right? In the assignments, you will have the application, the most basic component of those applications is activities. So the activities are nothing but threads, right? And they have a visual component. So most applications have several activities that start each other as needed. So one screen is one activity. If you want to have a separate screen, different type of screen, you have to have multiple activities. So we will see some examples where you can go from one screen to other and so on. Now, the most interesting, no, not really the most interesting, maybe you can call it the least interesting, but the most convenient part of Android is that whatever you want to do, whatever thread you want to write, whatever component of Android you want to use, there is a class for that. There is a base class for that. So what you do is you take that base class and extend it in your way, and you will have a mobile application that you build. So Android execution or Android in Android mobile application development is extremely simple. You don't need me to teach you. You can learn on your own. So whatever, so if you want to write an activity application, it just has one activity. What you do is in the Java code, you just declare an instance of the base class activity and you just extend it. Extend it means you have all the functionalities that are there in that activity, plus you add something. Add something in somewhere. We will see where we will see what we can add later. So it is very simple. Android programming is extremely simple. How many of you have experience, previous experience? I forgot. Can you raise your hand? How many of you have written one or two Android programs? Only 3 people? 4? Okay, so it's very easy. You will see. After this class, everybody has to write one Android program. So let's not go into the code as yet. Let's understand a little bit of basics and then we'll go to the code. So you have this Android phone and you have an application that you have written, let's say, and you have an icon. Right? You click on the icon. The first page opens up. The first page is what? Nothing but the activity thread. So it's a thread that is running. Everybody familiar with the concept of threads, right? If you are not familiar, you can come to the office or finish this. So thread. So thread means basically it's just a sequence of lines of code that you run. So, yeah, so the first page that opens up is a thread. It's the activity thread. Now in there you see some components. What components do you see? You see an image, you see buttons, you see text views, and lots of different things. Right? Each element in that page is called a view. Right? Each element is called a view. And corresponding to each element, you can trace that element as a node of a tree. So what tree? So the first page that you see in an Android program, the first blank screen, white blank screen, that is the root of a tree. So let's go to the document. Okay. So you see the first screen, and it is totally blank. That becomes a root node of a tree. Right? Now you have a button in here. Let's say this is an OK button. OK. That becomes a child. Then you can have a frame inside that, inside the main or inside this blank screen. You have a frame. That becomes the second node. Inside that frame, you have a text view, something written. So that text view becomes a node of that frame. This text view, it can also have a button. And then it has a drop down menu. Right? So this entire screen you can represent using a tree. Each node of this tree is termed as a view. It's a view type of node. The node of each, or the type of each node in this tree is a view. Right? This is the abstract class, the view abstract class. Now a view can be a button, a view can be a frame, it can be a drop-down menu or anything. But it is termed as view. That's the base class or the abstract class, view. So this one was our button view, but it's a button. Right? This one is a what was this one? This one I think was a frame. No, this is a frame view. This is I think was text box, text view. This was a button, and this was a drop-down list. Right? So this entire, whatever you see in an Android screen can be converted to tree. Now this tree, whenever you make up an activity thread, which means whenever you make up the first screen. Now how do you develop your first screen? Very easy, the drop down. Right? So select, drag and drop. So there is a drag and drop interface. You can drag a button, place it somewhere, drag a frame, place it somewhere. Very easy. So you make this first screen by dragging and dropping some stuff into it, and it creates this tree. At the back end, Android creates this tree. This tree is called the R tree. So this tree is stored in the variable R. So whenever you say that, okay, I want to develop a new Android application, and you drag and drop all these elements into a activity, and you hit save, then you will see that some automated code is generated. Right? Automatically some code is generated. In that code, you will find this variable R. This R variable has the tree. Now, what happens is that corresponding to each node or each type of node. So let's consider text view. How do you interact with text view? You click on it and you write something, right? You never drag it. You never push a text view and expect something else to happen. You do not hover your finger on the text view and expect something else to happen. The only thing that you wish that the text view will do is you click once and you write something, right? But on the other hand, when you are interacting with the button, you can click it fast, something happens. You can click and hold it, you would expect something else to happen, which is different from just clicking it and leaving it, right? As opposed to a drop-down menu. In a drop-down menu, if you click the text, you should be able to change it by writing something. But if you click the arrow, you should see some different options. So buttons, text views, drop-down menu, you interact with it in different ways, right? But in Android, everything is a view. So button is a view, text view is a view, a drop-down menu is also a view. So how do you have specific functionalities to each of these view items? How do you say that with the button I interact differently than with a text view, than with a drop-down menu? How do I say that? So what happens here is that each view can be cast as it's kind of, so view is an abstract class, right? So you can convert this view class either into a button class or a text view class or a drop-down menu class. So when you convert this abstract class into specific classes, like button class, text view class, drop-down class, you will immediately have a large number of functionalities that you can use. And those functionalities are specific to the type of class that you are converting. Right? Now, what are these functionalities? You will see a large number of functions. What are these functions? Yeah. What are event? What? Event. So these functions are event callback functions. Very similar to interrupt service routine. Very similar to ISR. So what happens? Whenever there is that particular event, those functions are called. So if you take a button, you will see that event on button click. Right? On button click event. So when you click a button, the on button click function will be called. So how it happens here is that for each type of view, you can declare something called listeners. Listeners are what? They are listening for something, some event occurring. So basically these are sensors. So whenever you declare a listener, it starts sampling that particular sensor at a high frequency rate. If you say on button click listener, it keeps on listening to the touch sensor at very high frequency rate. So it sees that, okay, did you touch on the button? Did you touch on top of the button or not? If you didn't touch on top of the button, it doesn't fire. It doesn't fire. If you touch on top of the button, generally it fires. Right? So with respect to every view, there are different types of listeners. For example, for button view, there are at least two types of listeners, or at least two, so there can be multiple. but I am saying at least two types of listener. One type of listener is on-click listener, another type of listener is on-button press listener. The on-click listener is much faster. So you click and it invokes that function. On-button press is you press it, you put your finger on top of it, you keep it there. You don't just move out your finger. You keep it there for some time, and then only it gets triggered. So then only that function is called. Right? So many different types of listeners are there for each type of view. And then what you do, whenever that listener is invoked, you write whatever you want to do. Either you want to open up a new activity, or you want to show something text, or you want to send something out to the network and upload some pictures. You decide. So that's how the execution flow goes. It's extremely simple. So you drag and drop some stuff, it is represented as a tree, you click something, you have to declare listeners for it, right? And inside that listener, you write your own code. Whenever that listener gets invoked, that code gets invoked. That's how Android works. That's how any Android application works. So very simple. So let's see the first code example. Any questions up to this point? Skip. Yeah. Any questions regarding Android, whatever we have discussed so far? We have only 3 minutes. This class is too short. Just 1 hour.
Structure of view to a class, so on that or before
I didn't understand. What before the event?
before the call back
So we'll see an example. It will become more clear. It will become more clear. Okay, so we have this example. This is what is this example? This was, I think, the screen, multiple screen example, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our first program. What we did here, it's a lot of line of code, but mostly this is all auto-generated, so you don't have to write anything. So you will not, let's not look at this now. The program that we are trying to write is very simple. We have a screen, and there is a huge button in the middle of the screen. It says go to second screen. So you click that button, it will go to another screen. There will be a huge button in the middle of that screen. If you click it, it will take you back to the first screen. Very simple. So let's see how you write it. So whenever you first say that, okay, I want to develop my first Android code, it will ask you a lot of questions. You say yes, no. I am not going through that. And you will come to this. Right? And it has remained problem. Oh, yeah. So you come to this interface. What is this interface? This shows a phone, and this is the first screen. In here it's black, but in other cases you might find it white. And that doesn't make any difference. So in this screen, what we have done is just taken one of those options and just dragged it here. So button. So I can show you one, but I won't change it. So you drag and you place a button, right? We have placed a button and named it next screen. Now if you see, if you click this button and go to this button, it has all these properties, right? It has all these properties. But an important property is this ID, right? This ID has to be unique for every component in the screen. So let's say we have a unique ID. We are out of time, but let me take 2 minutes to discuss this and then we'll go. So you have this screen, and then we have another screen called the content name. No, which one is that screen? Activity name. Okay. It has some rendering problem. We are looking why. But basically, it is on the same screen, and it says as previous. There is a button in the middle. It says previous. Now, when you go to the code, main activity, or main activity to which one? Main activity. So this is the code that is given to you. So the moment you say that you have an activity thread in your application, this code will be there. Now notice the first third line. Public class main activity extends action bar activity. The action bar activity is the base activity class. Right? So that is the base class provided to you. You are naming your activity as main activity and you are writing your own code in here. Right? Let's